Hey guys, Grandpa here again with another one of my life lessons series. This particular one is about everyday carry, I'm going to call it. So it's things that you would carry with you on a daily basis. And what got me to thinking about this was it's January in Atlanta and there's the threat of a snowstorm again. And we all harken back to 2014 when an ice storm, an unexpected ice storm, hit Atlanta. And unfortunately, there were a lot of people who were not prepared and were trapped in their vehicles on the road for hours and hours. And some people actually wound up having to spend the night in their cars because help just couldn't get to them. And it was it was a sad situation. We had some heroes came through and managed to get out to people with, food and water and that sort of thing. But there were just a lot of people that were terribly, terribly inconvenienced. So I'm sure your mom will attest to the fact that for years we've always carried a bag or a kit of some kind in our cars. That included, tools and that sort of thing. Well, I've expanded that a great deal. I now carry around in my car all the time what I call a get home bag or a get back to civilization type bag, because you never know what's going to happen. People, in addition to getting trapped by these ice storms and things, which the weather will do those things to us. You hear these stories all the time on the news about people that were trapped in various weather conditions. So, but in addition to that, there was a situation here in Atlanta last year where a poor lady just ran off the road, and unfortunately, she went down a deep ravine. And this is, I'm talking about in the metro Atlanta area, up on the north side. She ran off the road, went down a ravine in a kudzu patch, and they were not able to see her car. You could not see her from the road, and she died. Not sure if she died from the accident or from exposure to the elements, but it was a month before anyone found her. In a very, very unfortunate situation. So I always carry in my vehicle a get-home bag. And in addition to the bag itself, which contains a number of items, I always carry a pair of good boots and hats and that sort of thing. And there's a lot more than that in this bag, but that's not what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about things that you need, things that you should carry, what I think you should carry every day. I'm going to recommend you put these items in your backpack that you take to school and that you have them in there with you at all times. And, top on the list, and there's in no particular order, but remember the whistle I gave you guys a while back? A whistle can be heard if you have a situation where you're trapped or whatever. A whistle can be heard much, much farther than you can hear a human voice yelling. I'd also recommend you put a carabiner of some kind, attach that to your backpack. Also, a paracord bracelet. And if you don't know what these are, the purpose of these is there's something like 14 to 20 feet of paracord line braided together and then buckled together with this bracelet. You'll see people wear them actually as a bracelet. I just like to have one clipped to the backpack so that you've always got some cordage, which can be used for numerous things. I also recommend just a few Band-Aids, not a full-blown first aid kit, because you can't carry this stuff around all the time. It'd be too heavy. So anyway, just a few Band-Aids, in your backpack. Also a couple of zip ties. Lord knows those things would come in handy. You can, you can zip tie things together anytime you need to. Get you out of a lot of situations. This is a light stick, one of those chemical light sticks that it's sealed up so to keep it fresh, but you twist it, you break it, and it illuminates for something like 20 hours at a time. I also recommend carrying a piece of string in there so that you can tie that light stick around your neck or whatever. And then also a bandana. A bandana of some kind, even if it's nothing more than just a regular old bandana folded up. Even a handkerchief would work. But I just think those are some essential things that everyone should have available to them, so that you can use them for any number of things. They can be used, like I said, the bandana can be used as a bandage. It can be used as a tourniquet, so on and so forth, as can a number of those other things. So now, in addition to the items that I was talking about there on the everyday carry, if you have room, and if you're not going to have to be literally carrying this around in a backpack, if you're going to be in a vehicle and it's not an inconvenience, there are a few more items I'm going to recommend that you add. The first would be a flashlight, a good flashlight. This particular one, I buy these at Walmart for $1. You can't replace the batteries for the price of a new flashlight. And you could take an empty medicine bottle and put over that, and I don't know how well you can see that, but it makes a great signaling device. Just a little something extra that you can do there. Or you could indeed carry a good quality flashlight. If you do, be sure you got some extra batteries to go along with that. And of course, at school, they're not going to allow you to, but if you were in a situation, Swiss Army knife. Swiss Army knife, a wonderful tool that doesn't take up much room and doesn't weigh that much. I highly recommend a Swiss Army knife. If you have room and are so inclined, a multi-tool like this particular Gerber multi-tool. This is issued by the U.S. Army to all of our troops. Highly recommend a multi-tool. There are so many things you can do with that. Oddly enough, an emergency blanket. This can help prevent hypothermia and can prevent someone from going into shock if you're in a first aid situation. Also, I would recommend enlarging the first aid kit. You don't necessarily have to go this large, but putting a few more items into a Ziploc bag for a first aid kit is desirable. And then you also need some way to start a fire. I recommend either a lighter or a fire starting device. And these are readily available anywhere. And then some material to ignite. And in this case, I have some cotton balls and dryer lint. Dryer lint right out of the dryer is a wonderful fire starter if you put a little Vaseline on it. Vaseline is highly flammable. Good thing to remember, by the way. But it's an excellent fire starter. Just some ideas for you guys. Just don't get caught unprepared. Always be ready. Thanks, guys.